So we'll start just seated or lying if you want, whatever suits you, and let your eyes close. And picture your ears above your shoulders and your shoulders above your hips. And push down a little weight through your sitting bones so you can feel tall, elongated through the trunk. And then go ahead and put your hands on your low tummy. And as you breathe in next time, just breathe that low tummy into your hands. So as you breathe in, feel the low tummy press into hands. Might be quite subtle. And as you exhale, just feel it move back towards your backbone, pelvis. Inhaling again, low tummy presses into hands. Exhaling, sinks down. Just a couple more like that. And go ahead and rest your hands on your knees, and we'll practice shutting off the 7 gates. So if this is new to you, just have a peek. Point a finger to the top eyelids, very gently pressing. Thumbs to close off the ears in a jiffy. Middle finger to just half close the nostrils. Ring finger at the top lip, pinky at the bottom lip, elbows stay out to the side. Now, as you might fatigue, you might feel like your shoulders are doing this, which is not nice. Just let the elbows drop down instead so you can let your shoulders relax, okay? And after a few moments, I'm going to ding the bell, and you're just going to make a humming sound like a bee as you practice these 7 gates. So when you're ready, and then finishing your next breath out, just go ahead and rest your hands back onto your knees. And begin to calibrate the sounds from the outside. Noticing one sound and moving on to the next. And the next. We'll go ahead and bring the hands together at the chest. Take one breath in for an Om together. your hands rest down. And keeping your eyes closed, just tip your chin a little bit down. So if your eyes were open, they'd be looking right in front of your ankles. And bring your attention, your awareness right in towards your eyes, as if you could feel your top eyelid and then your bottom eyelid separately. And can you feel the point where those two meet to keep your eyes closed? And then super slowly keeping your focus right here, can you, as slowly as possible, like millicentimeter by millicentimeter begin to open the eyes. So tiny amount. Lovely. And then we're going to go ahead and have a lie down onto your back. I'm going to get out of the way. And so have a lie on your back and then keep your knees bending and your feet onto the mat. And go ahead and tuck your right knee in towards your tummy. And hold it with your arms. Right knee towards your tummy. Press it down, keeping your head on the mat. Yeah. Yeah. Notice if your shoulders are squeezing up next to your ears and just let them relax a little bit. And then bring your knee to the right side of your trunk. So a little bit out to the side, as if you could aim your knee towards your right shoulder. And notice if it feels any different in the hip joint as you did that. Just bringing that knee a little bit wider. Yeah. Take another breath out there. And then maybe using your left hand, can you bring your knee across your body as if your right knee is now pointing towards your left armpit. Yeah, keep pressing it down. Oh, that side might be feeling a little bit different as well. We don't do much internal rotation in our culture, so this is a lot of internal rotation for the hip. So keep your two buttocks level on the floor, pressing down, and it's just the knee is coming across. So try and keep your right butt on the floor. Yep, yep. Right bottom heavy. Take another breath there. Pop your right knee back onto the floor. Take a hold of your left knee and just press it directly towards your belly. Straight down. Notice if this side feels different from the first side. Is it easier? Let your low tummy sink towards your backbone or towards the floor. And then let's bring the left knee out to the left. Hips are level, buttocks still on the ground. And then taking your time, with your right hand on your shin, bring your left knee across your body to aim it towards your right shoulder. Yeah. And we're still breathing, right? And who's holding their breath? Oh, got you. Got you. Yeah, still breathing. Because, oh my God, it got intense when I came across my body. And so I'll just do my little reliable, tricky habit of holding my breath. And that'll maybe make it less intense. People, wrong again. That actually just makes all the muscles around the hip tighten up when you hold your breath. So I would highly recommend you keep breathing, even if it is intense. Concentrate for 2 more times on the exhale, all the way to the end of the breath out. Super. Lovely. And then pop that foot back on the ground. And what I want you to do now is just roll your pelvis off the mat. So just a little pelvic tilt. So here you are lying on the mat. Tip. Rolled pelvis off. and let your buttocks hover above the mat and then roll down again. And I want you to try and really articulate that movement. That's so beautiful, Susie, just exactly like that. So another way to think of it is if you've got headlights at your ASIS, and maybe when you're on the floor here, headlights are facing straight up, right? And so first what you want to do is turn the headlights towards to point over your shoulders, and then lift the buttock just a tiny bit, lifting the buttocks off the ground. And then let the headlights shine straight up above you, and then roll the headlights so they point, those lights point over your shoulders. Yes, just one more time. So this is very nice for the low back. Gorgeous. Okay, and then have a roll over to your tummy, and we will go ahead and pop ourselves into pigeon pose. Some people like to practice pigeon with a bolster, other people not. Please decide what works for you. I would encourage you, when you come into pigeon, let's all start with the same leg because that just makes it way easier. Which side are we on? Right side first. Pop your right knee to the right side of the mat and let your heel angle down towards your groin. So, you know, if you're going to be really extreme about pigeon, which, hello, we're doing yin, we're not being extreme at all, but we want, you know, ideally the shin is parallel to the front of the mat, right? But less intense for you if you let your ankle move closer towards the groin. At this point, you might wish to pull your bolster underneath your tummy. Susie, you bolstering? I'm going to pass it for you. And then you'll let those back toes relax. How about you, Missy? You like a bolster? No? Or you might like to just lay your trunk out onto the floor. Now, just before you get all the way down, tuck your back leg toes underneath and press back into the heel. Push backwards. Yes, yes, that's exactly it. Beautiful. And then release the toes down, knee down, coming down into the pose. Back this way. All right. Over. There we go. There we go. Okay there? Yeah. That looks great, Donna. And let this hip come to me. Down, 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 down. There's the, yes, that's it. Super. That looks perfect. And then notice if you've got tightness around your shoulders, at the front of your upper body, underneath your collarbones, in the musculature of your rotator cuff, at the back of your shoulders. Yes. Could you just let those guys sink down a little bit more? So yin is characterized by a somewhat longer than usual hold time. However, if you are not feeling fabulous in the posture, please come up and reset yourself, because this is one of the things of yin, right? Is that you might get into the posture and maybe it feels a little bit easier after a jiffy, few breaths, in which case you can like get a little bit deeper into the pose and, you know, get juicier in that. Deep. Or the other thing can happen, quite common, because many yin poses are focused around the pelvis and hip, you know, area, is that you get into the pose and then Zoe starts talking and you're thinking, holy moly, when is she ever going to shush up? Because this is just killing me. I do not want you to be thinking like that. Or if you are thinking like that, move and just back out a little bit, right? Because maybe the posture has just changed or evolved a little bit for you. Because guess what? I can talk for a really long time. Really long. And so I want you to be really comfortable and, you know, take ownership of how the posture is working with your own body. So maybe you just need to shift and make it a little bit more gentle for yourself, or maybe it got easier and you can actually, oh yeah, I can do away with that bolster and like get a little bit, you know, more towards the ground, perhaps. Yeah. Notice if the quality of your inhale has become shorter. In which case, maybe I just make this proposition, I might not be right, but maybe it's become intense and you don't want to breathe into that intensity. Yeah. I've tried that trick too. Just reset, breathe in and breathe out. Keep breathing. We're going to be here for 30 seconds more. Smooth into the space between your eyebrows. Let your lips be a little softer. And then what I'd like you to do is just super slowly roll yourself over to the right so that you can release your right leg. That's it. Great. Oh, and let's just maybe even have a lie down on the tummy for a jiffy. And you can feel like this difference in your legs just by being on your tummy now, right? From one pose, one pose. Bring your hands back to waist level. Keep your eyes focused on the floor. Just pop your head in a midline and then squeezing elbows towards chest. Just lift up into a little mini baby cobra. And if you're feeling like more, maybe straightening the elbows into a little bit more of a cobra. Yes. Yes. Lovely. Another breath there. And release. Gorgeous. Tuck the toes under and press back to down. No, let's go back to child's pose. Yes. Lovely. Lovely. Perhaps it's nice for you to let the arms come out to the sides of the legs with the palms turning up. Could be. Soften into the front of your hips here. And what I'd like you to do is move your knees a little bit wider. You just read my mind there, Chloe. Oh. And then we could perhaps bring the left knee towards the left wrist and left side of the mat for pigeon on this side. Just take your time. You've got a lot of time. There's no rush. Maneuver your body into the shape with care, paying attention to your knee, front knee, back toes. Maybe I could lift those back toes and tuck them under. Raise my back knee, press weight back into the heel, push backwards a little bit. Then bend your knee, pop it on the ground, release the tops of the feet down, top of the feet. And if you'd like to get your bolster underneath your trunk, now is the time to do so. Have a feeling into your pelvis. Yes, that was it. That's not good. That's good. You can feel it, right? Yeah. So here is level. Go on then. And then as you just come into the pose, you can hold that awareness of where is my body in space. Is my sacroiliac joint level here? Yes, it is. Or maybe I need a little bit of height underneath my left leg hip. Over here, let me move you. Shifting, shifting, shifting. Probably feels a little bit more intense in the hip, does it? But better. Good, good. Chloe's about to roll off to the left here. No, not that left, the other left. Yeah, the right side. There we go. Oh, hang on, hang on, hang on. Knee? Not super. Maybe try ankle to knee instead. This side looks really tight today. Does it feel all right? Huh? Feels fine. It's really asymmetrical. Right, let me move you your hips here. More, and then let that leg go back. Oh. And it's just gone. Yeah. You sleep with one leg up? Yeah, looks fine. And this side's a little bit more bendy, coming back here toward, oh, there it is. How's that? Is that all right there? Yeah. This knee is okay here, Kiefer? Yeah, yeah. Good, good. And then, you know, my job is to pay attention of where there is any clenching, resistance, tightening. And like having this gentleness to that part to just say it's okay now to let go. Actually, you don't need to be protecting. This is really safe space. And if I put this little block just underneath here, and let this come a little bit more here. How's that? It's okay? A little bit more intense, maybe? Yeah, sorry about that. Right leg hip flexor, I can just let it go. Susie, I'm just going to reposition this back leg, okay? Let me have it. I'm doing it. You're not. I'm having it. Let it go. Gorgeous. Fab. Just a few more breaths. You know what always blows me about yin is like when you get into the pose and you're offered like this time and space to just hang out in that pose, it's kind of like time warps. And you know, whenever I've practiced yin myself, I always am just amazed because time goes so fast. I don't know, maybe this is not your favorite pose and you're just thinking, oh, Zoe, dry up and let me get out of this pose. But honestly, like, you know, sometimes I'm like, I remember going once to a class when it was actually a yin workshop and it was a 3-hour thing. And the teacher said, okay, now it's time for Shavasana. And I was like, no, didn't you remember it's 3 hours? And like 2 hours and 40 had already passed. And it just felt like a snap, you know? Like maybe it's so important for us to have like some time and space with your body in this shape. Maybe that is true. Because once we exist in that sphere, actually, isn't that like pretty all-encompassing? Just existing in this sphere right now, in this place, in this shape. So just 2 more breaths out here. And then bring your hands underneath your shoulders and just whiz yourself over, not whiz yourself, roll yourself slowly over to your left so that you can get your left knee out. Yes, that's right. Oh. And bring your legs out to the front, sitting on your bottom. And then go ahead and put your feet hip-width apart. And maybe if you've got a blankie there, you can just roll up your blankie and make a little roll and pop it underneath your knees. So even if you are super bendy and uber flexible, you can just keep a little bend in the knee and put that blankie under your knees so that we absolutely maintain this knee bend in this pose, which is yin version of Paschimottanasana. So bums on the floor, blankie under knees. Now, you know, usually when we practice Uttanasana, can you do me usual practice Uttanasana? Tall, comfort, and you know, without this, people at home. And then usually we're going to come forward, like all aligned, everything like that, right? Usual yang practice. Do you know this class is live streamed? It is. But they can only see her, not you or anyone else. But when we practice yin way, we don't want to engage the quads. So, you know, usually the instructions are lift your kneecaps, you know, squeeze your quads, because your quads are keeping you safe in a pose. So remember I said right at the beginning, we're going to disengage the muscles because this yin practice is intended to go right into the deep tissues, ligaments and tendons and apply a gentle, soft exertion force on them. So it's like wearing braces for 18 months and your teeth move like tiny amount and add it all up and it's like, yeah, smile, yeah? And so it's the same. We don't want to put hard force on it. So that's why you've got this thing under your knees to keep your knees bending. So you're not going to engage your quads. So floppy quads, there we go. It's so hard to get rid of those little things that we always practice. And toes. Often people are going to have really toes. Let your toes go floppy. And maybe your toes are going to drop in or maybe they'll drop out as well. Doesn't matter, either or. That's the point. Okay, sacrilegious, here we go. You're going to let your back curve. Oh my God, really? But don't let your chin stick out when you come forward, all right? So you can let your back curve. And when you first start feeling it in your back, that's when you stop in this pose of yin pose or this variation. And just let there be some softness, some sukha, some sweetness, repose in the pose, okay? So watch out for the head dropping too far forward and just let yourself fold into this shape. And that might even mean that your back is being a little bit rounded, which is actually fine, okay? Backs, tell you a secret, backs are designed to curve. Yeah, they are. I'm a physio, I'm allowed to say that. So again, notice the breathing. What happened to the breathing? Notice in this pose, when your chest is really collapsed like this and constricted, it's quite hard to take a deep in breath, isn't it? So maybe as you breathe in, you could just lift your head away from your pelvis a little bit, get a little bit longer, breathe in, and then as you exhale, let yourself soften down again. Oh my God, that is so nice. That just looks so nice. And does it feel nice, you know, to do it like that? Breathe in and this little lengthening happening, and exhale, I can just soften a little bit more. Soften a little bit more. Soften a little bit more. How many of us just forget to soften sometimes? And don't you find when you soften or when you give in or when you accept help, everything just gets better. Have you noticed that? Oh my God. Like, for example, you know, like the kid, you know, like I see it so often with little babies, and the mum says, oh, I thought I could fix it. He's always turning his head this way to the right, and he's got a really flat head. And so I made an appointment to see the physio, and then it just magically got better. How about that? Amazing. I know, it feels a bit like torture, right? Oh, just back out. If it's getting more intense, come up a little bit. Look after yourself, your own self in this pose. Yes, that might mean you're a little bit more upright, but that's okay. Just give yourself that permission to actually be caring for you. We're going to be here for 5 more breaths. Then take your time to slowly roll yourself back upright. All the way back, as if you've got a magnet pulling you backwards, like a force field. Like that. Gorgeous, gorgeous. And let's put the legs wide, and we'll tuck in the right leg. Do you want to sit here? Yeah. Right leg tuck in, left leg out. Yeah. Great. And then turn your shoulders towards the bent knee. That's to the right. Shoulders turning to the right. Yeah, there we go. And we'll slide the left hand down the straight leg, back of the hand. Yep. And put your right hand behind your pelvis. And then let your side waist, the left side waist, move towards your leg, just to where it can. Just to where it can. Yeah. No pulling, no straining. Keep turning your heart towards the ceiling. Beautiful. And then we'll slide that right hand up the back. Give yourself a little tickle in the underarms. Bring the elbow right overhead and pop your bicep next to your ear to face your palm to the ground. Yep. That's it. Keep turning the chest again. Oh, that is so nice. Soft legs. Let your toes go. If you're straining your toes, we want soft legs. No quads going, just the turning and the side flexion of your trunk to your straight leg. Beautiful. Another breath there. Inhale, roll back up to center. Let's stack the right leg over the straight leg. So square up towards your legs. Yep. And we'll bring the right arm up into the air. No, we won't. We'll pop the right hand on the floor behind us and switch the other hand up into the air. Yep, there we go. And we'll turn towards the right knee. Twist. And look all the way around to the right. If you want to bring your right hand to tuck your knee in close, you can. Yeah. Bring your gaze all the way around to the right. Relax your straight leg. Oh yeah, that's hard to remember that. Another breath there. And release, coming back to center. Let's bring the legs wide again. And this time we'll bend up the left knee. Turn shoulders to left knee. So try and keep the legs really soft in these seated poses, which is really hard because that's not how we usually practice in a yang fashion, right? And then we'll pop the right hand behind, is it? No. Left hand behind, right hand goes down the leg. There we go, there we go. Yeah, yeah. So imagine as if you could Lift out of the waist and make your right side waist even a little bit longer and draw it a little closer maybe towards your right leg, right straight leg. Yep. And then we'll bring the fingertips up the back into the armpit. Lead with your elbow right over the top. Bicep framing the ear, palm facing down. Keep turning your chest upwards toward the ceiling. Oh, that looks so great. Beautiful. Breathe into the space between your pelvic bone and your floating ribs. You can probably feel it stretching a lot on that left side. Yes? Yes, Zoe, I know. Another breath there. Inhale to center. Let's stack the left leg over the right. Pop the left hand behind us on the floor. Right arm in the air. Grow tall, lengthen, and exhale, revolve to the left. Bring your hand across your body. Maybe squeeze the knee in close, or you could put your elbow in front of that left, yes, knee. Good. Soft, straight legs, soft toes, relax, relax. Beautiful. Tell me if you feel too cool. Take a little breath in and make your neck just a tiny bit longer, your neck. And could you bring the middle of the back of your head backwards? So tuck the chin down and let the back, yes, that's it. Beautiful. Another breath there. And release. Let's go ahead and set up our bolster with your 2 blocks. Who does not have 2 blocks and need some more? Everyone has got 2 blocks. You're very well prepared. So we'll make second height and big height, a gradient. And you're going to lay your bolster on the block. I would think this way, because otherwise this guy is going to poke into your back. Yeah. Yeah. You might need this one here. Oh, yeah. There we go. And then pop your bolster on. And then sit your bottom in front of the bottom part of your bolster. And put your hands behind you and lean back. Hands on the floor. Now hang on, don't lean back all the way yet. Bums up. Tuck the tailbone under. This way. Tuck. So, you know, this is sticking out my butt more. And I don't want that. I want tuck under a little bit and then put bum back on the floor. Yes. And in this way, you can keep your low back nice and long before we come into the posture. So then go ahead and pop your trunk, shoulders, back of your head onto the bolster. Yogi's choice here. Options. Legs straight out away from you, 2 straight legs. Or you may wish to put the soles of your feet together and let your knees drop out to the side. Either or. And so now, in contrast to the seated forward bend with the C-shaped spine, now we can, where you couldn't breathe in really nicely, now you can breathe in really nicely, right? Because now you've got this beautiful broadening across the front of your chest. And, you know, your collarbones, it's like your collarbones are just draping over the bolster. Yeah, yeah. And so now you can breathe in just like magic, so easily. And there's this beautiful quote about your head and shoulders. Let there not be a quarrel between your head and shoulders. And in this pose, don't you feel like this is like flowers for each of them? Flowers for your head and shoulders? Like they're so happy here. Head supported, shoulders supported. Let your chin just go tiny bit down. Yes. And when you did that, Donna, that meant your SCM, you know, these sternocleidomastoids, they were sticking right up. When you let your chin relax down, they went all quiet, which is really good. Yeah. Beautiful. And while you're here on the bolster, just have a little play for me, you know, just not too much vigorous, and just kind of have this feeling of squeezing the shoulder blades together a little bit. So you might even have to go like one side at a time, squeeze in and down, maybe. And then turn your arms out again and feel like, oh, was there a little bit more length? Did my collarbone actually just grow a little bit longer? Ah, yes. How great is that? I'm going to help you with that feeling. Can I have this arm? I want you to let it go super heavy, so heavy. And I promise you, I'm going to look after it so well. And so I'm just going to grab this shoulder blade and press it like that. And then we can let this arm go like that. How does that feel? Completely different from the other side? Yeah. How did I know that? Heavy, 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 heavy. Floppy, floppy. Let it go. You're still holding it. I can feel it. Let it go. It's got to get heavier. Blah, 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 blah. That's better. Super. That is so nice. Oh, that's lovely. That's a lovely adjustment. Ah. As if you could breathe all the way from your fingertips and your thumb tips through your fingers and thumbs, through your palms, past your wrists, up your lower arms, past your elbows, up your upper arms, around your shoulder, and right along the collarbone to the very center of your chest. And then breathe all the way out again, back to the fingertips. Inhaling into center. Exhale out through the arms. Just 2 more times like that. Gorgeous. If you pop your feet together and let your knees go wide, just put your hands around your knees and bring your knees together now. Stay in this position, but move your feet wider on the mat. So feet as wide as the mat, knees touching. If you've got your legs out straight, you can bend your knees and join us with this one as well with a little bit of internal rotation. So feet as wide as the mat, knees touching. Yeah, great. And then we'll roll the hands over, pressing the palms on the floor, maybe drawing the arms a little closer to the sides of the body. Press down, tuck your chin in, exhale and sit yourself straight up. Super, very nice. Good. All right, let's take the bolster out. And now we're going to do a downward facing Virasana on the bolster. So take those blocks out the way and then put your bolster back on your mat. Yep. And so downward facing Virasana is a bit like child's pose, but you've got this one underneath. Some people prefer to put the pelvis on the bolster. I leave it up to you if you want to put your pelvis on the bolster and trunk on the bolster. If you've got a particularly long trunk, you might need a second bolster. Otherwise, you can leave your hips close to your heels and bolster underneath your chest. But if you prefer, you can put your pelvis and chest on the bolster. It's quite nice to have something for your head though. So try a little tenderness. What's that song? Can't remember who sings it. It's nice to have an eye pillow under there. Who needs an eye pillow? Anyone? Anyone? Have you got yours already, Drew? Oh, you're so organized. Yeah. Just in case you change your mind. Yes, 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 yes. Oh, that's it. And if you've got space, let the elbows get a little bit wider away from the body. I just made you a little platform out here if you need it. How's that? Is that too wide? All right? Yeah. Yeah. Great. And so just for a few more breaths, I want you to let yourself sink into the bolster, almost as if you could visualize being held by the bolster, as if the bolster was like giving you all the support you need to yield. Can you let yourself be held? Let the ground hold you, let the bolster hold you. In a couple of moments, you have the option to shift once more, this time into Shavasana. If you prefer to stay where you are, by all means, please do. If you like to practice Shavasana on your lying down with maybe a bolster under your knees, you're welcome to make those adjustments now. If there's another pose you'd prefer to shift into for that period of time for Shavasana, then please go ahead and arrange yourself now. Notice when you move out of this posture that you were just in, and as we practice yin, you kind of get a bit slower and a bit slower and a bit slower. It's just remarkable, isn't it? Like the effect of the practice is so tangible, so noticeable. Let me know if you need any further props. I'm really happy to bring them for you. Let your breath deepen. Gently rousing the body. When you're ready, go ahead and bend your knees, putting your feet onto the ground. If you're on your front, you might like to move back to child's pose. Perhaps it's nice to draw your legs in towards your body. Give yourself an embrace. Take your time to roll across towards your right side. Take a moment there. Breathe out again. Notice your soft neck. It's agreement between your head and shoulders. And preserve it by pressing down with your hands to sit yourself up slowly. Go ahead and bring the hands to Anjali Mudra. And seal our practice with 3 Oms. Breathe in through your nose. Om. 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 Namaste. Thank you so much. So much. Thank you, Jude. Thanks for joining us at home, and lovely to have you here tonight. And I hope you feel sparkly, magical. You know, it's really nice to practice yin. Yeah, good. Very good. I'll see you next week.